When you're in the middle of a lawsuit, insurance companies are not only looking at your medical records, but they're also looking at your social media. I'm Chase Elleby, this is Jared Easter, and we're two partners here at Williams, Elleby, Howard, and Easter. And today we're going to talk to you about social media, what's discoverable, and how that may impact your case. So, Jared, we recently got asked a question from one of the comments about social media. And I think the question was something along the lines of, if I'm in litigation, do I have to give up my login information for social media?
So I think it's best to start with why before we talk about whether you have to or not. But insurance companies are most certainly going to look at your social media. That's step one when they have a case and they're starting to look into things. Immediately they're going to start Googling, looking for any social media pages you have so that they can try to find some little piece of evidence to prove that either you're being dishonest about your injuries or that you don't have injuries or something along those lines. For instance, I had a case last week where I was on the phone with the adjuster. I was telling him about how my client had lost out on an entire high school wrestling season his senior year. The adjuster put me on hold, comes back and starts telling me that my client allegedly had wrestled 3 times over the past 4 months. Turns out he didn't. The adjuster was just
wrong.
Wrong
information.
We scrolled down a little bit further. We saw that he wasn't in fact wrestling, but it's a prime example of something so small and so nuanced that the adjusters are out there looking everywhere. Somebody found it. He had it kind of in his back pocket. So it is a thing that, and if they do find it, it does become relevant and admissible in the case.
Yeah, it's definitely a thing because a lot of times it's low-hanging fruit because it's easy to find if it's out there, and it's, can be some pretty damaging for the plaintiff or good evidence for the defendant. So to Jared's point, sometimes depending on the case, adjusters will go and start searching on the pre-suit side, just scouring random social media to see if, does Jared Easter have a Facebook account, Instagram account? And let's see if it's, what he's posting and things like that. So we see that a lot on the pre-suit side. Now on the litigation side, that's a little bit different. So when you get into the litigation, the defendant or the defense, usually the insurance companies, they can serve you with interrogatories and requests for production of documents that ask for information about your social media typically. So the question about do I have to give the login, my login credentials and let the defense just go willy-nilly and look at all my messages and things like that? Generally the answer to that question is no. Has it happened before in the past? Yes. And a lot of that just, the favorite lawyer answer is it depends on the circumstances as to why that information might be discoverable. And it usually starts with sort of the question in a deposition of, Jared, you were in a car wreck. Have you posted anything to social media or anything like that about the car wreck? The answer is yes. It's like, okay, what have you posted? Let's look at it. Let's see, and those sorts of things. So it used to be a bigger, flavor of the week, if you will. Probably like in 2018, 19, like every lawsuit I'd had, it was always, let me have your information. Let me have this, let me have that, because one court in one jurisdiction allowed the defense to get into the login information so they could basically go, we just call it a fishing expedition, right? So they're basically going to go and throw out a hook, scour all the messages, all the posts, all the likes, all the comments to see if they can find anything that says, Jared, you said you hurt your back, but you liked this person who was doing flips at the beach and said, I just did the same thing last week, so you really aren't hurt, right? So that is kind of the route that they go to look for this information. So all right, so we talked about the login information a little bit. What else, are you seeing or insurance companies trying to do to find information like that?
Well, I think that, the login was always the way they went to try to cast the widest net out there. But nowadays, I do think it's been curtailed a good bit. So I think they're limited now to really just searching and trying to see what's there. But I think most courts have moved away from allowing logins, so they are more allowing the defense the access to your account as a whole. So I think it is greatly limited what's out there. I guess they could still hire investigators to try to look, maybe try to add you on social media, things like that, to get more access to your information.
Well, that's a good point. So let's talk about what you should do or what not to do if you're in a car wreck or have an injury as it relates to social media. So I guess what are your points or tips?
I think first and foremost, make your account private so that it's not just everything out there to be seen. And don't add new people. If you start getting random friend requests or requests to follow, be wary of just adding anybody or everybody. And then most importantly, don't delete anything
Right.
that is there. If you did post about the wreck, if you did post, some activity that you were doing, do not delete it, because if you do, you could run the risk of getting sanctioned by the court for spoliating evidence down the road. So it's important to keep it,
Right.
but just try to, be mindful of who's following you, what you're posting, and what you're putting out there while you're in the case.
Right. Don't post anything post-wreck. So wait, let me rephrase that. Don't post anything after the wreck that you wouldn't mind a jury seeing, right? So again, I had a case years ago where my client injured his ankle and he was talking about how it impacted his life and all this, that, and the other. And the defendant's like, okay, well, let's talk about this waterfall you were climbing in Brazil. How did that impact your ankle, right? So it's like, aside from me being angry, like, what are you doing? Don't post anything out there that you think if a jury sees, they're going to misinterpret. And that happened to be a case of misinterpreting, and he had to explain it, but it still looked bad, right? So just be very mindful of what you post post-rec. And to Jared's point, definitely don't delete anything, because deleting anything will just be more issues later on down the road. So just be very, very mindful of that. So anything else you want to add?
No, I think that covers it.
All right, guys. Well, I hope this video has been helpful. If you have any comments or questions, please be sure to put them in the comments below. Like this video, follow us, and we will see you next time.
As personal injury lawyers, we love what we do, and we're happy to share the experience we've gained in personal injury law. To help our family, friends, and YouTube subscribers, we've shared over 300 personal injury videos covering various injury topics. So if you'd like to gain more knowledge that may help protect yourself or a loved one when you're on the roads or out in public, check out our channel or view our playlist of shorts for quick personal injury tips.